Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I wanted to show you some really cool native wildflowers over here that's growing on the property. And these are very common things that you can find all throughout Tennessee. And they're great for a lot of reasons. The main one being that a lot of pollinators really use these things in the fall to get enough nourishment so they can make it through the winter and emerge next spring. So let's go take a look at some of these flowers. I think you'll really like some of this stuff. So one of the things we've done on this property is trying to keep some pathways that we can use sort of like a little maze, but also so we can get access to various different areas of the yard. And this has sprung up all over the place. It is a type of aster, and it's very well liked by the pollinators this time of year who are looking for that nourishment at the end of the season. But I believe this purplish, bluish color version of aster is called smooth aster. There is another type of aster that is also throughout this area. You can see all those little white flowers all over the place. And that would be probably a frost aster. I'm not 100% certain on the identity of these, but they're both asters. And what I've noticed is that these white asters seem to really attract a lot of the bees. They seem to be the one that they like the most. We have a beekeeper who has some beehives on the property, and the honeybees from his hives really are enjoying this. But so too are the native bees. We've got a lot of the little teeny tiny metallic bees. There's a honeybee right there. We got some carpenter bees, and we got some bumblebees. And of course we have wasps, because wasps do enjoy them too. And you know, wasps are a part of everything. They are a predatory type insect that has its place to help protect your garden. So as you can see, this area we've left pretty natural, and you'll see lots of different things in here. Now there's a thistle. That's not a native type plant, but the butterflies and the goldfinches really love those. Over inside, you're going to see, probably right there, you're going to see goldenrod and some milkweed. The milkweed has gone to seed at this point, so it's not actively blooming, but those seeds will float on the wind and land and create new plants next year. You probably recognize this plant here, but this time of year it is everywhere. It is goldenrod. And don't be confused with goldenrod and ragweed. Ragweed is the one that actually causes your allergies. Goldenrod has pollen that is just too heavy to float on the wind. So it is insect pollinated, and unless you get an insect with a whole lot of pollen that decides to go up your nose, it's not going to cause your allergy issues. That is ragweed's fault, which floats on the wind and is very invasive and does cause a lot of your fall allergies. And so this is a milkweed plant. You can tell that it is completely done for the season. It produced a seed pod right here, which we could probably harvest that and open it up. Let me see if I can find one that is actually already open so you can see what those look like on the interior of the plant. So right here we have a milkweed plant that is just busting out of its seed pods, and you can see these here. This is the ideal time for you to collect seed from milkweed. And what happens is the silk that's on these seeds picks up off the wind, and they parachute around wherever they may want to go. But it's perfect time to do it. And look, you got some milkweed bugs on that one there too. But these are the seeds right here. So if you're collecting, they do like to have some cold stratification to help with germination. So you can store the dried seeds in a refrigerator till spring, or you can plant them out and do some sort of winter sowing techniques if you want to. Or just set them in a pot and naturally let them go outdoors in the wintertime, and they will grow. Another plant I really like, but is no longer blooming, is this Vernonia, which is also called ironweed. You can tell it's already gone to seed, but it is a beautiful purple blooming flower that the pollinators really do love. So we're coming over here to another wild garden spot, and there's a lot of stuff going on here. We've got this more of the goldenrod that is starting to fade away. We actually have some persimmon trees in here that need to be pulled out. Those aren't really wildflowers, but they are a native edible fruit that, if you get it at the right time of the year, is really, really tasty. So coming down this pathway over here is a plant I really love this time of year, Mistflower. It's an ageratum, and it's got these beautiful purplish blue type flowers with these little frill petals on them. And from a distance, it looks like a little bit of a mist hanging into the pathways. It's just a really cool plant. A lot of pollinators love this plant. Don't see them on it now because I think the pollen is probably done on these. As you can tell, it's starting to go to seed right here. So here's an interesting plant. A lot of people call this one rabbit tobacco. It's also known as sweet everlasting, and it's got these beautiful white flowers. It does have some medicinal uses. I'm not 100% on what those exactly are at the moment. I'm just kind of learning about this plant here, but it's kind of a neat discovery that I saw on the property this year. Here's another Mistflower that looks like it's more of a white shade on it. I'm mostly seeing the blue to purple color, but it does come in a white. So the plant we've got right here is an orange butterfly weed that's going to seed. And you can see here that the seed pod is smaller, more narrow than the other one. What we had before was a common milkweed, and this one is Asclepias tuberosa, or orange butterfly weed. But now's the perfect time, like I said before, is to go in and actually collect these seeds and get them started so you can plant them out in your garden next year. And this one is a very well behaved one. It's very easy to take care of. It just does not like being transplanted that much. Now here's some more goldenrod, but what I want you to look at is what's inside that goldenrod. There's a little beetle there. That is a goldenrod soldier beetle, which are very good at pollinating these plants. So they're actually a beneficial creature that's at least a cousin of lightning bugs. You can tell by its shape, it looks very, very similar in form. Here is some of that butterfly weed at an earlier stage where it hasn't faded away for the year. You can see the nice green leaves on that one. And then right over next to it, you can see these pods. These pods are not quite ready to be collected for seed. The other ones are in a much better state of that, but soon those will be ready. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tour of our wild areas of our garden. My plan is to keep a lot of this very natural. We're going to incorporate in a few more native type plants into the various different areas as we live here, and hopefully make it even more beautiful and more useful for pollinators. So those are kind of our goals for that. Of course, we'll have our other areas too, where the vegetable garden is, and a little bit of a plant nursery kind of thing going on. So we'll do all of that kind of stuff. But I really enjoy walking around these pathways, seeing the native insects and birds and animals. We've seen bobcats and turkeys and deer and all kinds of stuff, and it's just been really cool. So if you like this video and want to see more similar to it, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you have a comment about something, please drop it in the comments. I'm curious about that rabbit tobacco, if you might know any uses for that one. So I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.